all that. We're live. I was thinking, whoops. There we go. Gotta get that armor blocker going. I was thinking today, I would like to cast some tournament games. Not play today. Just sit back, relax, and watch the massacre. Watch the masses fight amongst themselves. Should be fun. Usually I'm hard grinding, but you know, the variety I've gone looking at other people play has inspired me. It's actually pretty fun seeing how people handle things differently, judging from the sidelines. It's like chat. It's like I get to be chat. It's amazing. Hello, PB, Trizik, 3A, 3AA. Hello, yo. We also cast the first game of the finals, or the first best of three of the finals. It was Maximillionaire versus Flower. I just put a link to that video. It's on the second channel. And it's pretty sick. It's Vampire Counts versus Dark Elves was the first game. And we all know Maximillionaire is a crazy Vampire Counts player. The ending, too, was pretty crazy. Would highly recommend it. And especially because if we get enough views on that video, I can finally monetize the second channel. Incentivize me to put more content there, finally. Yeah, Maximillionaire is pretty scary. I do think Vampire Counts is gonna get super hard counter, though. Like, you have the Chaos build. You have Warriors of Chaos with their Super Death Blob, which apparently is just like a ludicrous build. You have like Horn and you have Nurgle. You have let's see here. I don't know, even just Slaanesh for people who know how to play Slaanesh. You're looking at like quite a few counters. You're looking at a good number of counters. It's a tiny bit unfortunate. All right, the players should have matches ready to go. Very nice. You got Berserk? Hell yeah. This will be great. You'll be fine. It's just Berserk. Who are they even? I'm sure no one here has even heard about them. Should actually not be too bad though, right? You're on your greenskins. Berserk is kind of learning all the factions too. Maybe he'll give you like a random set of factions to pick from. Yeah. I think it could be good. Man, this is actually great. Great first battle. A great one to start the day. Maybe we just like keep following the winner. Could be fun. He plays Spellkite, Tzeentch, Slaanesh, and Chaos. He's so cooked. Let's see here. Tzeentch against Greenskins? Yeah, that's pretty bad. Yo, Chaos is chill though, man. You can beat Chaos. Come on, man. Here, I'll stream snipe the build for you. I'll just copy paste Berserk's build. Send it straight forward. It'll be fine. It'll be good. But yeah, I'm super excited for the grand finals. Super duper excited. Let me see if I can find the bracket here. Where is it at? Yeah, right now, oh hey, Dangler, your match against Berserk. You're supposed to play a best of 3 against Berserk in the grand finals. And then if you beat Berserk, then you gotta face Daniken. Man. What a great lineup. It's just world beater after world beater. Oh, you have Rogue AI now? Okay. Let's see here. Oh, okay. You're saying Berserk in the finals. I see. You're playing Rogue AI in this tournament. Ah, dang. I was hoping for some craziness. But yeah, I do look forward to that best of 3 though. Let's see here. Like, I feel like greenskins, they're a faction that just gets soft countered by a lot of stuff. Okay, what's Rogue AI gonna do? If you can't beat Rogue AI, how will you stand against Berserk? We shall see. Again, some messages. The bracket for the next Warhammer League is up. Awesome. Awesome, awesome. On my side of the bracket, it's what? Bird, Solmir, Scrambled Egg Special, Big B's, Navigator, and Ponty. Amazing. Zarix and Berserk are on the other side of the bracket. We made it, people. That's a guaranteed second place right there. Big B's is kind of scary, though. Same with Scrambled Egg. Navigator, if I ban Wood Elves, are pretty screwed. Ponty just banned Dark Elves, and then I'm fine. Yeah, I think it's mostly Scrambled Eggs and Big B's that I have to worry about the most. April Patty, hello. Playing today? Oh, we got a sub. Thank you so much, Captain Crunch. Amazing name. Oh, it's Greenskins versus Chaos. Oh, Dangler. This is perfect. Playing with eye drops from the doctor. Wish me luck. Oh no. Everything's blurry. It's fine. When do you need accuracy when playing Warhammer? Basically never, right? Yeah, I'm real interested to see how Rogue AI plays this. People play this game so differently from me. I don't know if you realize. Maybe it's just me. Stuck in my own bubble. But like, I wouldn't be surprised if Rogue AI took Chaos Warriors, which is a unit that I do not respect in the slightest. Oh, and they're gone. They're gone. Are they picking the map? Just charge. Don't need to see to charge. The true Bretonian mindset. Yeah, those helmets, man. Historical medieval helmets. Seeing through them must have sucked. You got like the tiny little slits. You're trying to like... you have to like tilt your head to even see the ground. A whole mess of infantry buffs and debuffs. Oh man, yo. I will say, you know. No. I know like there's like Apotheosis, right? No, that's the heal. Harmonic Convergence. That's the buff in the Lore of Heavens, right? It's the same as the Greenskin melee buff spell. But like it doesn't feel that good, does it? I don't know. I've never been impressed by it. But in theory, it should be okay. I think it's... Greenskins really benefit from buff spells because they have low stats but high weapon strength. Other factions don't have that same mix, right? No one... Like, unless you put it on monstrous infantry, maybe? Like, you put it on fiends or something? But, like, who's fielding monstrous infantry? Like, high elves don't need to make their oceanids have better stats. They already have great stats. Hand of Glory. Yeah, I don't know. I do feel like Greenskins are one of the main factions that really benefit from the buffs, just because their cavalry is so weird. There's an incredible scene in Night of the Seven Kingdoms with helmet visor vision. Oh no. Yeah, it's claustrophobic, man. Okay, Greenskins versus Chaos. Let's see it. Let us see how this goes. Players making the builds. I would love to see Meated Angler go for like double Ragnarok Spider. What if they go for like the Boar Boy build? It's a million pig cav. Or I don't know. What else is hype? When you guys see greenskins, what do you want to see? A giant? The Mad Lad brought a giant. Does he have a counter to the Hell Cannon though? Fully enclosed helms with external cameras nowadays. Yo, external cameras. I remember this being brought up in relation to tanks, where they're like, why don't you just have cameras on the outside of tanks and like TV screens to just show what's going on outside? And the answer to that is that a lot of this stuff is not military grade. Like, imagine if you took your home TV screen and like brought it outdoors and gave it to some military guy to drive around. Like, it's immediately cracking and breaking, right? And then like the external camera also has to be able to withstand similar amounts of damage. And that's why a lot of tanks do not have like these sophisticated technology solutions to see outside. Because when you actually put in this guy's armored. I didn't know that was a thing. But yeah, when you actually put it into a combat situation, it just falls apart. Gotta keep it simple. But you know, or it's just too expensive to be worth doing, and just like a normal porthole is better. Is that a dwarf? Jeez Louise. I've never looked close at this Night Goblin War Boss before. Besides, who needs tanks anymore, right? Yeah, we got drones. What is this? We got some Spider Riders. We got some Skirms. We got the sick giant. No spellcaster over here. Forsaken build with the Archie. We got some Burning Head, some Searing Doom. Aspiring champions, but most importantly, the Hell Cannon. So this bad boy is parked behind the trees. He wants to shoot out into the greenskin forces, while also being covered by the likes of magic from the strongest material in Warhammer. Wood. I've never seen anything better. Not to be confused with tree men. They're not made out of true wood. I don't know why. I was so hyped for Three Kingdoms having burnable forests. I'm like, are we gonna have destructible terrain? No, that was just a test for 40k. Dang it, 40k stealing everything. Honestly, destructible for terrain for 40k will be very exciting. I think that's very hype. If they have enough interaction with it. By the way, just an early Burning Head being dropped. Roasted Toasties, a couple gobos. They live, but third degree burns. Overall, was that worth it? Was that worth it, Archaon? You spent 10 wins of magic for 150. So your 80 wins of magic pool, so 150 times 8. 150 times 8, that's 1,200 value worth from your gold, which means that Burning Head was generally not that worth it. A good ratio, if you spend 80 wins of magic, you should get 2,000. So 2,000 divided by 80. You should be trying to get about 25 gold per wins of magic. Roughly about 25 gold. That's when like it's good. Oh boy. Oh boy. Meaty Dangler playing to the win condition, by the way. So this is a very common strategy. This is a build that's just trying to up trade. And you know, it forces the enemy lord to have to stay away. Because if they get close, they get rampaged into Tormentor Sword, into Giant rips your face off. It turns out the bringer of the end times was not ready for giant club to the face. Dodges that attack though. That's because of his high melee defense, but that's half his HP gone. Archaon is not a happy camper. No, Archaon, it's a bait. Yeah, he got baited. That's the Dangler special. Sick Fanatic volley here too, by the way, on the Hellstriders. Lots of value. Oops, indeed. This thing hasn't even shot yet. It's trying its bestest. You're gonna shoot? Hey, there we go. And the shot is in. Yo, that lines up perfectly with the arc almost. Boom. Hits a couple of Orc arrow boys. This is still a horrendous position for the Warriors of Chaos. At least he's still alive and at okay health. It's true. Archaon's definitely a combat lord though. You need him near combat to give terror. So now that he's low, he does lose a good amount of effectiveness. Because you can't really risk him dying. He's too expensive to bring back. He's still usable though. If he plays on the outskirts away from this little night gobbo, it's not bad. Wow! Oh my gosh, that's some greenskin main material right there. The Gaze of Mork special attack. You can see the damage is ludicrous, piercing right through the aspiring champions. This guy with one Gaze of Mork got more value than like 3 Archaon burning heads. Crazy. But here's the problem. Greenskins are still not the strongest faction in the game. So despite the, you know, fairly good plays from the Dangler, this is still a little sketchy. Horsemen are bullying the giant too. You don't want that guy to go down. Yeah, there you go. There's a retreat. And Archaon has come back. Now here's the thing. Rampage has to be off cooldown soonish. This thing has a 90-second cooldown. So if he just rampages Archaon back into this, it's pretty over. There's the Rampage, but Rampage makes you leash onto the closest unit. This Orc Shaman needs to get to the Giant. A little bit of a misplay there because the Rampage could have lasted a bit longer. Very unfortunate too, these Goblins get terror routed. But here we go, here comes the Giant. He's not attacking Archaon though, he's attacking the Forsaken. What are you doing? He gets the buff? No net! Maybe he already used it, I don't know. But Archaon actually manages to escape the second fermented fungi. Archaon is not resistant to the shrooms. Just, I love the idea that this guy's just chucking some mushrooms at the end times bringer. And that just makes him go crazy. But I guess that's how Warhammer works. Boom! Giant to the back. That's minus 60% melee defense. Which means this Giant's basically guaranteed to hit Archaon. He's running for his life. Everything has plus 40 melee attack though. And they're all attacking from behind. So he's getting hit even by the Orc Shaman. 1000 HP. Gets blocked by the Squig Herd. And I think the Dangler has made its play. A little bit of a misplay from Rogue AI. You got to be careful. Anytime you face this greenskin build, you have to be ready for the shrooms. It's not crazy range. It's not even Doombolt. But this war boss basically has a 75-meter bubble that you should not enter. That's roughly the range of this blue circle. If you do that, you'll be good. But yeah, there's just not much left. Chaos Sorcerer shows up, but he has not figured out how to revive Archaon. Rip Archaon back to being the Never Chosen. Yo, I'm like, would anyone else hold better here though? Would there, would like a Kolek be able to do it? Probably not, right? Giants are crazy. I say as he fails to kill 2 Forsaken somehow. Oh, Hell Cannon? Just shooting at the archers. Here's the thing though, right? There's just too much greenskins. Without the Lord, the forces of chaos are falling. Chaos defeated by a single goblin and his big friend. GG. Well played. Dangler takes one. Very nice. Fool me once, yeah. Archaon lived the first time. But yeah, the counterplays, you just gotta play keep away. You make the mistakes, you get the punished. Very nice. Take a look at the giant value. Very good. That's all Archaon damage. It's glorious. The Ruglud's Armored Orcs, 500 gold. I think we'll follow Meaty Dangler around. Let's see here. Yeah, Skirmishers are great. Ruglud's are great. The Archer Corps are fine. Lots of Gobbo Spears. We got a Night Goblin War Boss here. Got some Boy Cav. All very nice. This Hell Cannon, by the way. So when you have the Hell Cannon, you have to play way more defensive. You can't afford to just take fights like that. Gaze of Mork, very good versus this composition. Lots of high HP, low entity units. Trolls were kind of nifty, but yeah, they just didn't cook. And the Axe Throwers. I don't know why I took Axe Throwers. Axe Throwers are really only more effective versus like Arachnarok spiders and the like. But even versus the giant, like normal javelin guys would be better. A little unfortunate. They also have very little ammunition. So they'll have less damage output unless it's like the most armored target you've ever seen. GG though, well played. Who's next? The temptation of drugs. Drugs OP, man. Follow the dangler. All right. Kolek would have lived longer, but Kolek doesn't do much either. Yeah. I don't think there's a single Chaos Lord that can survive a rampage into a giant. In fact, giant outduels like most targets. The weakness is their speed. And that fight does not involve that in the slightest. What next, though? What next? Honestly, the Hell Cannon... I feel like the Hell Cannon could have been sick. So, like, what he should have done is just get the Hell Cannon. Use the Horsemen to kind of skirmish around. You can even bully the front line with the Hell Cannon, and then your Forsaken come in and clean up. Oh my gosh, it's Pope Patty. It's the viewer special. We got the Pope Patty versus the Dangler. All right. All right, we got a real match. It's the Greenskin main versus the Bretonnian main. I would say I'd put my money on. Oof. Ooh, all right, this is kind of complicated. I think Pope Patty would be more confident. I think Pope Patty would be more confident about the situation. They're more of a true believer of Bretonnia, whereas the Dangler kind of, you know, they feel the weight of the Greenskin roster every day. You know, they're the old guard. But that doesn't mean that Greenskins are going to lose it. They got Black Orcs. If I had to put my money down, I think we're going to see Black Orcs and we're going to see Grail Guardians. It's going to be amazing. Map is Celestial Lake, which is pretty bad for Bretonnia, by the way. Grail maxing. This is pretty bad for Bretonnia. We could see a bunch of flyers, though Dangler might go for the Rampage again. Maybe he goes for Rampage Giant? The Giant again? It's pretty good versus Bretonnia. I believe a Bretonnian main tide is the weakest here against Greenskins. It's only there if you think your opponent's going to hard counterpick you. Interesting. This is great. We see matchups that I like never play. In theory, though, can't you just armor max the Bretonnians? I guess they can route off your forces, but Black Orcs have ITP. I don't know if they route off to an Alberic charge, plus they have the mass. Okay, So what's the counterplay? So you're starting out with Black Orcs. Petunia goes mobility and they summon Trebuchets. As the greenskin player, you have loose formation. But that's only okay versus the Trebs. Let's see here. It could just be that. Look. He could try to keep his guys behind some trees, maybe. I think it really depends on how effective the Blessed Trebuchet is. I believe it's cheaper on this patch. I believe I made Trebuchets like 50 gold cheaper, so that'll definitely help the Petonians. Put 3 shrooms on the dangler. Oh man, I don't know. You know, it'd be really sick, like an Arachnarok spell. Like, I think a big single entity could be sick. You think he'll bring a Rogue Idol? What if they counter rocks with rocks? As we all know in the popular game, rock, paper, scissors. Immovable object versus immovable object. It's a tie, but the dangler will be on the points, so they win. Yeah? Let us see it. Let's see the craziness. I might still follow Pope Patty, though, after this match. Even if Dangler wins it, just because I think it'd be cool. I think it would be cool to see all the different play styles that these people go for. What if Rogue Idol was good? Yeah, what if it actually gave a good amount of leadership and kept your units in the fight and did devastating damage and was tanky? What if they bring Royal Pegasus Knights? They are used in a lot of matchups. Probably not against Greenskins, though. That seems like a bad idea. Unless he feels like... If he really doesn't fear... Oh, man. If he really doesn't fear the rampages, I think he could do it. Pope Patty's ready. Ragnarok Flinger, hell yeah. The Greenskin Artillery Kite build. Rogue Idol ROR and a Ragnarok Flinger. That would cost you about all of your money. I think each and every single piece of gold will be gone. Just Rogue Idol in the main army, Flinger in the second, in your reserves, and then it's over. Nothing else. Yo, oh man. Yeah, I'm so excited for Nagash. CA, provide the DLCs, please. I feel like the Cathay thing was like a nice bite-sized little bit of an update. It's crazy how there's no multiplayer patch, though. They still haven't put out like a hot fix or anything after. It's just... I think CA's actually just not doing multiplayer anymore, guys. Who knows? Maybe they do. I'll still be fine. I'll just, you know, do my own updating with my mod, but it's crazy. Oh my gosh. What is this? What is this? No black or gray weapons in the main army. It's shielded ones instead. Okay. I guess I'll make it the knights hard. It'll make it harder for the knights to hit them in the big grind, I guess. For the melee defense. No AP though. No AP. StarCraft having more meaningful patch notes is crazy. Yeah. Let's take a look. Okay, so this is Black Orc shenaniganry. They got 42 melee defense, fairly high, but not ludicrous. They can make it ludicrous with Immovable Bulwark. I wonder if he'll activate that. We have a Night Goblin War Boss. We got a River Troll Hag. No Biona! No Biona. What in the what? Okay. He's got Night Goblin War Boss. He has a Rampage. He has Anti-Large. It's all very normal. No Biona? Wait, what is this? Aspect of the Dread Knight. Oh, okay. That's to solve the leadership issues. That's pretty cool. I do kind of like that. It gives you Fear and Terror +8 leadership. If there's a terror causing unit on your guys, that's effectively like +25 leadership total. It's pretty crazy. Also gives you magic attacks. And it lets you terror out fools. I guess that's pretty cool. You know, Grail Guardians? No, they do have ITP. Okay. I was wondering for a second. They got ludicrous leadership. Flank secured, Lord nearby, all the way up to 94. Higher leadership than dwarves, but the unit's supposed to be elite. Makes sense. It's Fey Enchantress from the Patty. Got lots of healing. Chalice of Potions is a good win con if you can hit enough Black Orcs with it. And that's basically it. This is a tiny build. We got a Green Knight. Does he have Dolorous Blade? No. Just a vanilla Green Knight then. Could not find a sword.
Keep it from the foe.
And the Beast Slayers of Vaston. Look at these sick halberd knights. Look at them go. I mean, peasants. They look like knights though. And we got Dead Guy. We got Dead Guy on a horse. You can even hear it. You can hear it clanging. Yeah, look at that guy. Ready for combat. Very nice. He's gonna be good. This buff is actually quite strong for cavalry too. +5 melee attack is good for units that usually have low melee attack. You can see a little bit of a Grail charge versus the Black Orcs. Their mass helps tank some of it, but that's still solid. Like a solid 1,000 damage. This guy's tanky though. They even got a little bit of damage back on the Grails, but they'll definitely be healed up. Another one shows up over here. They get netted though. Oh, look at those rear hits. Savior Cavalry has arrived. Wow, look at that damage. Are these guys, did they get the anti-large or something? Pretty crazy. Is that a Purple Sun? And a Rampage. Purple Sun to deal with cavalry. Now that's unorthodox. The damage is middling. It has unfortunately drifted in the wrong direction. That's pretty rough. Oh, and the friendly fire. Okay, very lackluster Purple Sun. We do have a giant though. Giant's here to beat up the Green Knight. Aspect of the Dread Knight. Okay. Causes fear, terror, has the magic attacks. Can he hit him though? Aspect of the Dread Knight's gonna last 6 more seconds. He needs to land the hit. Oh, and it wears off. Rough. Okay, so Aspect of the Dread Knight did basically nothing for that giant. So far, we're seeing a little bit of magic whipping. Good dodge though, both sides using the maximum amount of magic negation as they can. Monstrous impact from that spell, by the way, slows down the Black Orcs. Pretty interesting. But now what? Pope Patty's pretty good at Lord sniping. I'd be worried about this Night Gobbo. Artillery has arrived, though the Beast Slayers just got massive amount of damage from that Fanatic over there. Let's take a look. Damage by artillery. This is a Blessed Trebuchet though. Weird. Did they take damage from the Blessed Trebuchet? They shouldn't be. Yeah, they're not. It's all good. Blessed Trebuchet impacts the Black Orcs. Trying to get them routed. -3 leadership. Ooh, and no Aspect of the Dread Knight to keep them in the fight. Giant's still cooking though. Beast Slayers are basically dead. And the Grails have been in combat for maybe too long, though they're kind of good at just chilling in the fight. We got some more Boar Boys. We got some Stone Trolls to buffer this fight. Meaty Dangler is basically saying, if I can just sit in this fight for a long enough time, my guys will win. And Pope Patty might be thinking the same thing. which means one of these players is making a misplay. There's a lot of maneuvering within the blob, though. Like, you see the Green Knight sniping the River Troll Hag and the Giant going for the Fey Enchantress. We're going to see some Pegasus Knights going for the Night Goblin War Boss. Both players going for high priority snipes on imported single entities here. Another heal, but the Wog is out. Night Goblin Big War Boss, 9 leadership. He dipped into the negative for a second there. If a Trebuchet hit him, he actually would have routed. And here comes another Savage Orc Boar Boy charge. It's a very long grind. Both sides have very close value. But the Bretonnians have healing, which is what worries me a little bit. Night Gobbo still running away. He's still alive. Questing Knights are taking damage because of it. There's a lot of units just stuck in the fight, but dang, look at those Pegasus Knights. Chopping up the Savage War Boys. And that's because they don't have a lot of armor. Another Purple Sun drops. Will this one land a bit better? I don't know. I don't know how I feel about these Purple Suns. Where's that Hag? What's her value? 800 on 2 Purple Suns? That's like almost like 40 Winds of Magic. Oh, did that just hit a tree? Holy smokes. It hit a tree? I didn't even know Comet of Cassadora could be blocked by trees. I told you. I warned you. Jeez, man. That is the biggest projectile I've seen a tree block in the history of Warhammer. That's hilarious. I'm surprised I've never seen that before. Oh man, are we gonna see these Stone Trolls route? This Blessed Trebuchet's hammering them. This little force capping the back point is cool and all, but I feel like these Black Orcs would have been better off supporting this fight. We got a fun charge here though from the Boken Tusk Mob. Potentially, if this skirmisher dies, that's a good comeback potential with the Dangler. Giant's dying though. It actually routes to the Paladin. Paladin has anti-large, doesn't need armor piercing. This guy has no armor. And the Hag's getting surrounded. I think Pope Patty's coming up with the lead. Now it's gonna be a little sketchy. Dangler does have a little bit more money, and he's catching out skirmishers like no one's business. Skirmishers getting caught up is very unfortunate. Oh boy. This is a lot of gold too. This is 1,000 gold. That's like a whole questing night's worth of units. You don't want to be losing that for free. Though a counter charge with these questings and grails could change the tide of battle. They're going for it. Capture weight in the favor of Bretonnia too. Oh, are the Boar Boys still chasing the Yeomen? No! The misplay from the Dangler. And I think that's gonna do him in. Boken Tusk Mob. Yeah, you killed one Yeoman, man. Oh, the hammer has arrived. No anvil required. Just smack them with a hammer. They'll go down. Blessed Trebuchet's been cooking the entire game, by the way. 773 and a million leadership debuffs. Making every single fight go the way of Bretonnia. Another heal from the Fey Enchantress is going to patch up these guys too. And this is looking pretty doomed for the forces, the Greenskins. They have not gone a lot of value in the last little bit. This poor Black Orc unit has done nothing. They show up to the fight, but the fight's over, man. The fight is done. They got their little shields raised. Oh, look at that, blocking some arrows. But unless we see a mega play, I think this is pretty done for. We would need some sort of like rampage kill on the Fey Enchantress or something. Wonder if a tree could block Sword of Khorne. I think Sword of Khorne isn't a projectile, right? I think it's just an animation. If it did block it though, that would be hilarious. Another Purple Sun drops. Okay, wait, I gotta see this. So she's at 878. Let me see. All right, 878. Purple Sun drops, lands basically perfectly on the Knights, and then friendly fires some of the Black Orcs. 1496. So that was 600 gold value. So that was not too bad. Divided by 18 is 34 gold per cast. I guess that was not a bad Purple Sun. But you do need a very nice blob for it. Spec slot, please. I'll be casting your games. Your next game. Pope Patty wins. With the Grail Guardian stack, look at that. Mega value on those guys. Green Knight cooked. And Black Orcs are very lackluster. The melee defense was nice, but charge bonus eats melee defense for breakfast. River Troll had got one good purple sun at the end there. But yeah, just no big plays. Pope Patty kept the Fey Enchantress safe and got some good snipings on. Stone Trolls were kind of cool though, but man, look at the Cav. This is what happens when you have a bad Cav faction versus a strong one. Just absolute devastation. Yo, the Pegasus Knights with the 2,200. They paid double, man. Trebuchet was great. Yo, that was sick. All right. Pretty good. Next up. Next stop at the Pope. Let me see if I can get into that match as a spectator. There we go. Let's see how they do. All right, got some messages. All right. Grail Guardians, my beloved. Yo, they cook. Pretty sick. GG. Yeah, Fey Enchantress got a lot of value too. Just keeping the single entities alive against an SE sniping build is always going to be a solid advantage. Played this matchup on that map like 20 times. Dang. Good stuff, good stuff. What next, though? What next? Will we see, let's see, who's the runner-up right now? Let me check. It could be Hobo Honkers. It could be Risotto if they win first. Oh, it's Hobo Honkers. All right. Hobo versus Pope. How's it gonna go down? I know Hobo Honkers is pretty scary, but I don't know what faction they play because I just don't see them often enough. Anyone got the reads on them? They signed up as High Elves, which... Oh man, it used to be Bretonnia favored in Warhammer 2, and like that's the only thing I remember. It's a bad thing about being in the Warhammer 2 meta for so long. It's just like... I have not felt the meta shift. It's been a while since I counterpicked High Elves, and they haven't been in the meta, the High Elves, or Bretonnia either. So this is something only the faction mains will know. He's a High Elf gamer, like all the time? Never thought of them as like a pure High Elf main, but dang, okay. Now, personally, I think this is pretty doomed for the High Elves. I've played it once in recent-ish history. And the problem here is that the High Elves, they get charged in the face. They get Mega Blitz. You bring in Oceanids, there's magic damage knights. You bring in anything large, there's Alberic. You bring in archers, hilarious. Bretonnia eats archers for breakfast. And on Bloodgrove, this map's pretty small. There's nowhere to hide, nowhere to run. They were Nurgle with Epidemius for a while? No way. No way, man. It's crazy. But yeah, let's see this. I wanna know. I must know. Dragon time? Yo, going dragons versus Betonia? They're all like... That's like the thing that knights did in fantasy. That's like the #1 creature that knights hunt are dragons. You want to do that versus the paladin squad? I don't know if we'll see a paladin squad. Maybe Eltharion with the Tempest can win the air fight versus Alberic. Maybe. But I know Pope Patty likes their... They like their fancy schmancy Bretonian style. Oh, not Bretonian style. Ground Alberic styles. Horse barracks. Horse Lewin even? No. Horse Lewin's very uncommon. Though he can be cool. Horse Lewin plus beloved son of Betonia. You just need to get him a bit low. Yo, if you could consistently get Lewin to half HP, that would actually be such a crazy buff. Because it's just map-wide melee attack. Guy's crazy. Knights also fought a lot of snails, yes. Less so in fairy tales, more so in the actual in the books, pictured, drawn out instead of spoken. Does Buna work well on Bretonian Cav? Buna is not as good because they're a healing faction, but if you get the cavalry to half HP, Buna will take out the rest. But in general, if I was going death magic, I would just take like Spirit Leech for Alberic or something. Because he tends to be pretty squishy. There's the death magic. Buna is good to finish off forces. It's still not terrible. The thing is just the healing, you know. The healing makes it where you can't deal with their win condition, right? The win condition is the Royal Pegasus Knight or what have you. And if it stays on the battlefield, that's just bad. You know, you Buna it, they heal it back. The counter counters the magic and you still have the problem on your hands. So I can see why Purple Sun was run earlier, because it can wipe them out. But the problem is that it didn't. How much do you even save putting Lewin on a pony instead of a hippogriff? I think like 700. The thing is, Lewin on a pony is actually quite terrifying. It's not as crazy, but he gets the job done. Excuse me, still very proficient single entity. How much you see you play tournament match as Cathay, peasants, and drum only? Am I allowed Jade Warriors if it's peasants? If it's peasant spam? Because if it's just the spear guys, it's pretty rough. Look at this build. Okay, it's halberd maxing, very, very standard. We got the Blessed Trebuchet. Let's see it. Let us see. Blessed Trebuchet is obviously here to counter the halberd box. But the question is, how strong is it? Jade Warrior's acceptable, okay. Honestly, I did want to do another Cathay day. Might even do it tomorrow, but peasants only with war drum shenanigans sounds rough. Also, I need the cats. You're basically just removing the DLC. I don't know if that's fun anymore, man. There's like nothing to micro. Like a little bit with my lord and maybe some of the stuff, but yeah, I don't know. Oh, hey, it is a Lewin. That counters Tempest and the like. So here's the Blessed Trebuchet. Knights of the Realm. We got the Royal Hippogriff Knights. Peasant Archers. Illyrian Reaver Archers. Keepers of the Flame. It's a halberd box. I like the company of Caladrian. These guys give a melee defense and leadership buff and charge defense for free. So they give themselves charge defense versus large. But the problem, they're not gonna fight cavalry. They're gonna get shot by the trebuchets. This is better if they were foot squires, but they ain't. No Tempest on the Alarielle, just a banishment and an Earthblood. Can she run Tempest? I think she can. It's pretty wild that this is a Tempest-less build, but so be it. Trebuchet gets his first shot, biffs it, no damage. And first blood has been drawn. 12 gold worth of peasants is now off the battlefield. Trebuchet whiffs it again. Oh, that one hit though. Very nice. Gets a couple entities. That's going to reduce the damage of these horsemen. But this is just a skirmish phase. Both sides are kind of posturing. The high elves are posturing into the indestructible forest to stay safe from the trebuchet action. Alarielle slowly captures his point. Middle is taken by the Reavers. And overall, I'd say that's not too bad. Let's take a look at the dodging. So you can dodge big flyers like this if you kind of just move sideways. You can like just run circles around them. Oh, boom, the dodge, the jokes. And Alarielle gets the capture point. Lewin, slightly embarrassed that they've biffed it so hard. A second landing. Oh, gets the hit though. Running in a straight line. You got a zigzag. Everything in this game is a crocodile. They had that on Mythbusters. Was it a myth? Running in a zigzag against crocodiles? I feel like that's totally myth material. That sounds like the silliest thing ever, to zigzag crocodiles. It seems so silly. Like, anyways, someone will let me know if I'm wrong. Ah, we got a mismage. Wait, did he just... Oh, he did Oceanid Summon. I totally missed it. Would they run away from a crocodile to test that? I think they had hanging meat on a trap that would just like swing it back and forth while running away. Anyways, you can see the Oceanid Summon. Fairly expensive. Good damage on the trebuchets, but importantly does not rout them. So far Mismage did not have the solution. You could fireball it 4 times in a row. But compared to Mistress of the Deeps, the cost is actually fairly similar if the second one does actually get the job done. Skirmisher's not doing too great, by the way. I believe they can actually shoot at the Peasant Bowmen with their range and dodge at the same time. But it's hard to get it off perfectly because the Peasant Mob are here. With perfect Skirmisher play, though, it's definitely possible. I just kind of wonder where this is going. I think High Elves are just kind of building up. Because the more they build up, the less value they give to this trebuchet. Because it's all going to happen at once. There's going to be one big fight where they're just hunkering down with their spears. And the trebuchet is just going to only get a few shots while that's going down. At least that's theory. This mage gets a second summon. This guy's expensive, though. Gets the Oceanids on the trebs. All right. But he's getting bullied. Oh my goodness. Yep, terror routed. Sword of Corone, 18 melee defense. Was it worth it in the end? The question is, was it worth it? Well, the trebuchet crew is fine. Hobohonkers was or no, my bad. Pope Patty. Pope Patty was extremely prepared for this. These Oceanids are getting 200 gold value. But losing the caster, disastrous. Now it's not the end of the world. The late game can still go well with this build-up style, but that's like a whole unit of halberds he could have had extra. You know, just an extra unit of Phoenix Guard free. Myth, crocodiles can 180 their entire body length. Well, that's terrifying. You know, in games, they always taught that big monsters would be slow and lumbering. But anyone who's seen a hippo swim knows that they are fast. Oh, hey, a little point capture here. That's gonna buy time for Hope of Honkers. If he just summons his entire army, it doesn't matter that he lost a couple dudes. Trap shot. Pretty good hit. Is he gonna stay though? Is he gonna stay with the trap around? We got some silver in. Trap shot. Misses. There's a nice little tussle back and forth here, right? Very defensive game. Pope Patty doesn't want to take an aggressive fight. I'm surprised they're not moving their infantry here though to secure this. It's not like High Elves are gonna blitz this middle point or anything. I guess he's confident that he has his cavalry and doesn't want to break formation, maybe. Maybe he doesn't want them to get shot, or he's worried about summons. High Elves do have a lot of money in the bank. This is rough though. Big charge on the Reaver Archers. The bullying Commensa. Giant charge on the Storm Riders too. And I gotta say, the High Elves are just bleeding out, man. They're playing the slow grind style, but it only works if your value trading isn't like this. Yeah, they got a few tickets, but man, that did not hold very long at all. Infantry these days are just not that good versus large. Pretty rough. Another Treb hit. Yeah, goodbye Storm Riders. And there's a capture point. Now, High Elves are still at 500 tickets, so they can wait till about, I would say, like 750 before they got to push out. Looks like they're pulling the trigger now, though. They want to get to the point where they win on a 2-cap, essentially. Gonna chuck out a banishment here, but the dodge from Pope Patty. Pretty good dodge. Still gets hit by a pretty decent banishment, though. It's gonna hurt the foot squires, who are kind of essential to clearing off all this infantry. And mayhaps there is a chance, though the foot squires will get a pretty nasty charge. Look at that. Getting all in there. Some shots onto these halberds. High Elves just all alone. And if this Royal Hippogriff Knight charge in the back of them clears them, that's just the end of the world. There it is. Hippogriff Knights have arrived. And there they go exploding. Now, Keepers of the Flame, yeah, they do have a little explosion effect when they die. This thing. It doesn't say down here, but it does a little bit of damage. And they are not cooking. This is not the life that they wanted to lead. Just undefended infantry upon undefended infantry. Very rough. They do get the heal, though. Star of Avalorn. They are elite, so they're sticking around. And maybe the High Elves can pull it back. We're looking at a 5k deficit, though. Some Reavers did clear up the artillery, however. Okay. We have some Sea Guard, maybe, wanting to push this point. The question is there, like, anything left? I think the only way High Elves win it is if their infantry completely dumpster this Bretonnian infantry force. If these Keepers of the Flame somehow stick around for the next few minutes, and they might with 67 melee defense, then we're talking, right? They got the Martial Mastery barely triggered still. If they just stick around, hold the point, there's no infantry, and Bretonnia is stuck trying to clear them with cavalry, I guess that's good. But it's still pretty bad. The game is very balanced towards the cavalry right now. Lewin is getting bogged down too. He checks out the stand your ground. He's not gonna die though, right? Does he have Beloved Son? He does. If Beloved Son triggers, it's over. In fact, this is actually intentional. I see now. Yeah, the High Elves are intentionally taking damage with Lewin because there's nothing here that can kill him. There's no magic that can finish the job, so you might as well get the buff. I think that's actually what they're going for here. Pope Patty's a Bretonnian main. They know how to min-max. Do they have ITP, Keepers of the Flame? They do. Unlike a lot of lords for some reason. They have ITP. Lewin has ITP. I remember there's a few weird ones. So I know Chosen don't have ITP, which is very sad. Deficit is being bought back, by the way, for the High Elves. They're bringing it back slightly. Will the company of Caladrian route, though? They're kind of needed to keep that Grail Relique effect going. Both sides effectively having Grail Reliques. Reaver Archers are here body blocking. They're wavering, though. We're looking at minus 12. 6. Oh my gosh, we were just about to route. Minus 4. That's it. No, 6. What is going on? You just need one Treb shot? There it is. Okay, Trebuchet has been resummoned. And that's basically going to spell doom for this blob. Who leadership, though? Oh my goodness, this is the worst feeling as a Batonian player. Caster gets routed off too, the triple cap now. I do still think Pope Patty's gonna win, but the holding power of these guys is kind of ludicrous. We see a Star of Avalorn. If these guys stayed around, that would have been so bad. But this Trebuchet should clear, right? There's just too many foot squires. It would be ludicrous if Pope Patty loses this. It'd be the biggest throw in the history of throws. Because they could have just backed off, right? From the fight. But Lewin's arrived. And he's chucked out his debuff, Sword of Corone. So now these guys have worse stats than some greenskin units. And I think they're going to be routing now. They do have ITP, but negative leadership is negative leadership. Hippogriff Knights are healthy. And all Pope Patty has to do is recapture the points. Now, there was a change to Elite Infantry a while ago that gave them way more capture weight. So these Phoenix Guard, despite being injured, are still at 4.8. And we do have the Storm Riders here and Alarielle. Now, an Alarielle snipe could just end it. Big hit on Alarielle. She's not even moving. She's not even moving. Oh, second hit. Alarielle. There we go. All right. Zooming away. A terrifying experience. But that means capture weight is no longer on the side of the High Elves. Big rear charge from the Royal Hippogriff Knights. Foot Squires are doing good. Gonna see a big ol' yeah, Pegasus Knight charge over here, but time is of the essence. Hobo Honkers did draw it out for quite a long amount of time. And it's not like they're army wiped right now. This fight went a lot better than it should have because of all the heals and all the barely not routing because of the Trebuchet being dead. Honestly, if the Trebuchet was there earlier, it'd be over, but it was quite the pick. That one Illyrian Reaver jumping them truly gained the working. Slaughter Guard don't have ITP. That's hilarious. Also, yo, they're banking money like crazy. Are they out of summons, maybe? Usually with build-up, you end up running out of summons sometimes. It's pretty sketchy. Point is being secured. This is looking pretty sus for the Bretonnians. They actually don't have that much time left, which is ludicrous. But they need to secure this point. It brings in a Knight of the Realm, a Knights Errant. I can't believe it. So Honker is actually going to come back. That fight was atrocious, by the way, for Bretonnia. Not only did they lose the point, they also lost value, which means there was no point fighting there. They should have just pulled back. But hindsight is 2020. They only have 150, no less. They only have 100 seconds left. That is only a little longer than a minute. Okay, we're going to see a little bit of a rout, but the Phoenix Guard is still holding. The High Elves actually going to do it? That's crazy. Lewin is here. There's the debuff. All right. Are we going to rout the Silverin? Oh my gosh. What a disaster, man. What a disaster. He took the fight without the Trebuchet. Oh, no. Yeah. They need a triple cap. Even if he does get this point, he's going to have about 100 seconds to get this at most, probably less. That's going to need a lot of traversal time, and the High Elves have 2,400 in the bank. Oh, no. They did stay for too long. By the time he gets this point, I don't even know if he's going to get the point before the game's over. Big terror route on the Silverin, too. There they go. Absolutely brutal. But not enough. Even if he captures this, it's less than 50 seconds. I swear this is ticking faster than per second. This feels like it's... Why are seconds so fast? 30 seconds left, 25 left. And he almost has the point. Disastrous. Oh no. Pope Patty getting wrecked.
You have
GG.
invested. There is only
That's
defeat.
unfortunate. Very unfortunate indeed. Brutal. I can't believe it. I thought it was over. I thought it was totally over. But no, he just he just kept the Phoenix Guard alive. Honestly, that one Illyrian Reaver actually just won the game. The one that routed off the trebuchets. Like, losing a Mist Mage and getting nothing done was so bad. But at the end of the day, he just got the units to hold, man, in the middle. He just took a very decisive middle fight. Trebuchet got 1600. That's crazy. But he didn't have a reserve treb. Oh my goodness. It is kind of crazy that for Betonia, the entire game revolves around this one singular unit. And whether or not it lives or dies, you really need it for the leadership breaks, turns out. Everything else was farm and value, I gotta say. Man, that's crazy. That's crazy, man. I can't believe it. Congratulations to Hobo Honkers. These two players may face again in the finals, by the way. Or semifinals. So I look forward to that. I know the Phoenix Guard holding. Phoenix Guard holding is wild. Oops. Hobo spectates. So let's take a look at this. Next one. Hobo Honkers versus Risotto. All right. The Wood Elf. Wood Elf player here. Let's take a look. Did they mono it? The mono factioning as Wood Elves. Okay. No amount of tactical wins can beat a strategic loss, I guess. For Betonia, yeah. They're a faction that really hinges on a few tools doing well. Whether it's your Pegasus Knights or your Trebuchets. And they don't really have alternatives. So like their infantry can't really make up for it. Their cavalry are kind of on their own. They don't have ranged units. Like if you give... You know, if the Empire ever just gives Betonia guns, they would just become the best faction in the game. I think Betonia with armor-piercing handguns deletes most factions because suddenly these halberd boxes just die. It's completely over. But I guess if you gave them guns, it would no longer be a knightly order. Can we get knights with guns? What if you just gave it to the knights? I want to see Grail Guardians with Outrider machine guns. You know, that would be sick. But whatever, I guess they have blessed trebuchets. The curse of the end spectate, whoever he follows loses. Oof. You know, I guess that's a cool power to have. The problem is I'm always spectating myself. Pegasus Knight Outriders. Flying gun cavalry? Oh my goodness. Yo, it would be hilarious doing a technology mod. Imagine Organ Gun Skycutters. Imagine a Shredder of Lustria with like 5 cannons mounted on its back, just firing away like it's a ship. Like it's a proper ship. Yeah, that would be sick. Let's see here. What else would just be extremely oppressive? Honestly, that's pretty insane. Surely you can put something on a Thunder Barge. When guns came out, they were certainly used by the wealthy knights. Yeah, like the rich people are the first adopters usually. but this, I guess that's how fantasy rolls. Can't be breaking up the standard order. Bretonia stuck at not even crossbow tech. You don't even got crossbows, man. Although I will say their peasant bowmen are pretty sick. Peasant bowman cook. It's just, man, they need armor piercing. Can we get like bodkin arrow? Like, there were armor piercing arrows in medieval history, by the way. Like longbowmen with the right arrows at the correct distance debatably did pretty good versus knights. You know, at least chainmail. They shredded chainmail. But yeah. In the right weather conditions with the correct amount of mud. I feel like the game doesn't do arrows enough armor piercing justice. Dismounted anti-infantry knights. That's just foot squires all over again though, right? Just more elite foot squires. I don't even know if that'd be good. Elite infantry can get countered. Dismounted grail knights though, like a monstrous infantry, that would be sick, like aspiring champions. Yeah, I guess like, so the thing is, at least the way I understand about plate mail, because there's people have done tests and the results go either way depending on the situation. I would imagine if you have a king in the best plate armor known to man at the time, your arrows are probably not going to do much, right? You're going to need to get some shots in the gaps or whatever. But like your standard, you know, infantry dude, I think like by the late medieval period, plate mail tech was getting pretty good versus arrows. But the thing is though, like if it wasn't working, why would they field it? I guess it's to kill non-knights. I don't know. I haven't done enough research. It's kind of crazy. Guns got blocked by armor too, for a time, just because guns weren't strong enough. But that checks out. In-game pistoliers don't have that much AP, so. Kill the horse, yeah. You just get enough arrows in, something's gotta happen, right? Yo, slings though? Why didn't we have slings in the medieval period? I guess because bowmen were way better. Yeah, like the thing is, it's always like the right conditions, right? It's always the right distance, the right conditions. You know, you're probably not going to be piercing plate at like super long range. You know, but yeah, I don't know. It really depends. Medieval period was hundreds of years. So even that already muddies the waters, man. It's like imagine historians in the future debating if guns could pierce Kevlar, and they're like, yeah, we tested out guns from the time, and it's just like a musket rifle or a musket gun, I don't know, whatever, right? You know, it's like, are we talking about crossbows from which year? Which century are we even talking about, right? You know, obviously with guns, there's more of a tech difference, but yeah, it's complicated. So I should not be too sure about whatever I say. Sometimes it's good to accept that you can just be very wrong. What a wild build, by the way. So this is a single Reaver Archer. Heralds of the Wind are hybrid cavalry in the truest form. They have the charge bonus of light cavalry. They have the melee stats of light cavalry. Look at that, crazy stats. But they also have range attacks. Unlike Kislev, who just has weak sauce range attacks and weak sauce melee, this is actually the best of both worlds. For a price. Yes, I'm kicking Kislev Waldo down. CA did them dirty with the hybridness. But yeah, Silver Helm maxing? Okay, Silver Helm shield maxing. Got ludicrous melee defense over here. An Archmage of Fire with Burning Head, very standard. Ooh, and stealth. So he wants to stealth over and then Burning Head this squad. This is a Mask Lead Guard build, very standard for Woodies. Also, yeah, bows, I think most people agree that the problem with bows is the training. England pulled it off because they had a whole culture around archery. So, like, you know, growing up as a kid, you would just learn how to use a bow. Crossbow, you can hand it to basically whoever, and it's good enough. Was that a unit cast? No. I don't know what that spell was. Was he, like, about... Soul Quench, okay. Was he about to quench him? Your Soul Quench is weird, by the way. It has a contact effect that's basically Spirit Leech. Oh, here it is! Get quenched! Pretty good damage. Was that an overcast? Normal Soul Quench. That's 7 Winds of Magic, and it got basically a Spirit Leech or more, a little over a Spirit Leech worth of value. That's good. Burning Head, a little wasted. You wasted it, good sir. 71 gold. That is 7 gold per Winds of Magic. You want 25. Heralds of the Wind did die because of the Glade Guard, by the by. But the cavalry's arrived. Wild Riders. Do you not see the danger? What are you doing? Okay, there we go. Oh, and they're just gonna counter charge. Okay, that's a dead Wild Rider. High Elf Cavalry, by the way, far superior than Wood Elf Cavalry. Because these guys got armor, these guys don't. Neither side has armor piercing, which means, yeah, look at that damage. Brutal. Not to mention these guys are cheaper, too. We got the chariots coming in, too. With the Wood Elf Cavalry obliterated, the Riders of Rohan have arrived. Oh, the humanity. Brutal chariot charge straight down the pipe. Archers are firing away, trying to salvage a situation. But this is looking very bad. We got some Glade Riders in the distance, not supporting the fight. The Mega Burning Head! Oh no! Elves have very low HP per entity. Line them up! What is this? StarCraft Hellion, like, worker stacks? Oh, jeez. Oh no, it's over. Dude! He lined them up! You don't transfer your workers when you're being Hellion harassed. Oh no, what a play. What did I say? 25 gold per Winds of Magic? Let me just calculate real quick. 1500 divided by 10. That's about 150 gold per Winds of Magic. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Oh no. Devastation across the board. Oh man, oh, that's just brutal. It kind of got build countered here. Mask Glade Guard, risky versus the High Elves. Oh my gosh, felt like Cyril dropped 4 Banelings in the middle of the line. Like, that just ended the entire game. You gotta be careful, man. When there's a Burning Head caster, you gotta be very careful. Oh my goodness. Jeez Louise. Honestly, there's not much High Elves or Wood Elves could have done to defend against that. This is just a counter build through and through. You'd have to realize that you don't see a lot of units. Play ultra defensively and try and get your cavalry up. The problem, this build only has 4 units of cavalry. The Dryads are not going to be great, especially because of downhill. But, like, you're going to have 4... He should have fought closer to the forest, actually, to defend against this, instead of being fully downhill. That actually hurts a lot, because it makes cavalry so much stronger. But I think this build is basically doomed from the start. It's 4 Wild Riders versus 8 Silver Helms. 9 Silver Helms and a Dragon Prince. There's another Lion of Trace. Yeah, there's just nothing that can be brought in. Devastating. Absolutely devastating. Oh man, yeah, there's like nothing, man. It's nothing. GG. It's time to wait for the top 4 then. fun day though. Very fun day. Yeah, don't land it up. Double Melkoths would have been quite a bit better. Yeah, you can go for the Melkoths. So like if you know that they're gonna cav max you and you just walk out with the branch rates, they have nothing that can kill the branch rates. And if they try to contest the points, they get Melkoths. So that can work out pretty nice. The problem is if you still have that many Glade Guard, they're probably gonna rush you down. So not perfect. Top 4, by the way, looks like Hobo, Von Karstein, Dangler, Adler, and Pope Patty might not make it. Pope Patty's fighting Adler for top 4. Oh my gosh. Everyone give Pope Patty your strength. Adler's pretty scary. Ooh, I can cover a replay quickly while we... I can cover a replay real quick. While we wait for top 4. That's the benefit. Let's take a look-see. This was one that Risotto submitted. Versus Chaos Dwarves, Dust Bowl. Honestly, I kind of like Dust Bowl. It has a great simplicity about it. Literally no terrain. Is not bad though. There's just not a lot going on. It's fun for artillery builds. Gotta have one map that's good for it. We'll just quickly go over this while we wait for Adler and Pope Patty to finish the duel. What we got here? Glade Rider. Oh. Glade Rider's almost getting caught. If they're attacking a flank, these guys get 25% more damage. Hobgoblin Wolf Riders are actually pretty high. Quite strong. But they're gonna get caught up here. Lots of archers are firing away. Good surround of the cav. Ooh, getting them rear charged though, kind of rough. But this is still good with the archer support. It's amazing. Magma cannons are coming in. What did he hit him with? Did he doombolt the magma cannon? I don't know. Oh, maybe it was arrows of Kurnos. I know they have weird hitboxes though, so that might have been a little sketchy. Was it a double arrows of Kurnos? Yeah, double arrows of Kurnos should be doing way more damage, right? But Dwarven artillery just have weird hitboxes that makes them not die to anything for some reason. Very unfortunate. Unless that's normal arrows of Kurnos damage, shouldn't it be doing like a lot more? Oh, maybe it was normal damage. I guess it's better for sniping stuff like mortars. Doom bolted the Lord, yeah. It's pretty high. Lots of shooting. And this is generally not bad for the Wood Elves. The idea that's being done here is like, yes, you might be able to do a lot of damage at long range, but I do even more damage at mid range. So while the artillery's nice, quite nice hitting that Lord there, does it really make a difference when you're being shot at by like a million Glade Guard? And then you can't rush in because you have artillery. Life just feels pretty bad. Oh, big volley though from these archers. If you're getting shot at and you realize last second, don't give a move command to your Lord, because a stagger animation will save them. Oh, that was pretty risky. She lives though. We're gonna see a Doombolt. All right, so 2,400 HP. Does Doombolt beat a Magma Cannon though? Magma Cannon hitbox is normal. Okay, good to know. I think it was the Death Shriek maybe that has a weirder one. Not sure. Gets reforged. It still shoots? What is this thing doing? It's supposed to route. Got one last shot off against the Lord. But yeah, anyways, Wood Elves are just employing the greater damage strategy. And as long as the Dwarves are pushed forwards, the Wood Elves are getting an advantage. If you're playing Dwarves and doing this style with a lot of artillery, you should play way more defensively. Yes, you get this point, but the damage you take is not worth it. I think you would happily give 250 tickets to your opponent to recoup all the damage you've taken from these Glade Guard. They're even almost going to kill an Overseer, which is pretty bad. Errors of Kurnos lands on the Magma Cannon too, further mitigating the damage of the dwarves. And the cavalry is just kind of trading themselves on the far side, which is to the advantage of the Wood Elves because they want to keep these guys up. Top 4 is up. Whoop. Hobo Honkers.
One of your units
Spec
has been
slot,
destroyed.
please. I will just X4 through this. I think Wood Elves got it though. I think the Wood Elves absolutely got this one in the bag. There's just not enough firepower, though the Magma Cannon keeps coming back. That's going to be slightly problematic. Wood Elves have the capture point. They're trying to shoot the Demon Smith. They're kind of running out of ammunition. This is actually a little sus. Lord is super low too. I must say, you know, having the shielded warriors is pretty nice. Wood Elves weren't really pushing as aggressively too. They lost a lot of shots. Usually range damage optimization doesn't matter, but against these super tanky shielded factions, it can in these longer grindy games.
The enemy has captured
Doombolt on the Kadai is a bit of a misplay. Could have sniped the Demon Smith too. A few slight sub-optimizations is actually, you know, in the early games actually putting them back. And not killing off the Magma Cannon was pretty sus too. But I think at the end of the day, just mag dumping with your Glade Guard is still a win condition. Yeah, it's still a win condition. And now it's just a late game cleanup. Very sketchy though. Actually, yeah, they have 5 minutes to secure this point. Dang, this is kind of a crazy match. The Magma Cannon that could. Yeah, honestly, the Magma Cannon had no right staying alive that long. Oh, the demon, the Iron Demon barely dies too. Yo, honestly, if that Iron Demon danced around here a little longer, Chaos Dwarves almost could have won it. Gets the capture point. And yeah, that's going to be game. Okay, that ended up being a lot closer than I thought it would be. I thought Chaos Dwarves were just getting blasted into oblivion, but as soon as the Glade Guard started running out of ammunition and that artillery piece came back, it got very sketchy. Fun game. 3,000 value on those guys total is crazy. I think you should have just been either doombolting the Lord more or the Magma Cannons more. By splitting the target priority, it got a little close. Dwarves just needed to play further back and they would have been fine. But yeah, it kind of sus. I must say, kind of sus. Pope Patty, you're out. No. No, Pope Patty. It happens. Brutal though. All right, let's take a look at this. Greenskins versus High Elves. We've seen both of these players play, but not against each other. Who do you guys think is going to win? I believe Hobo Honkers, I don't know if they qualified for my grand finals and for my other grand finals. Let me double check. They did not, but the Dangler did with the Greenskins. You think we'll see some sick play? Looking forward to seeing Blood Crushers dominate in general, or because we don't see it. Interesting. This could be it. Hobo Honkers could qualify for the season 2 finals. You cheering them on in voice chat? We have a moderator cheering for a player. I thought I was the only one that could be corrupt. Honestly, I think it'd be cool for either of these players to make it. Meaty Danglers are resident Greenskin main. Hobo Honkers hasn't qualified before in one of my tournaments. exciting either way, ain't it? But who shall come out on top? Personally, I think Greenskins is fairly strong into High Elves. Their infantry's better. Their cavalry have that armor piercing. They might be a little slower, but Greenskin Cav versus High Elf Cav is not too bad. That's just because even if they do get caught and partially surrounded, they just grind really well. Anti-large armor piercing versus non-armor piercing. High Elves, their ranged attacks are not that effective versus Greenskins. There's some troll builds too that Greenskins can go for. High Elves can go fairly fighty themselves though. But like Oceanids get shot up by the Rugloods and the like. I think the Dangler only loses if they get a giant. I think if they run a giant, they're doomed. But I think that would be a bit extreme. They have a few problems like Eltharion. Not too many ways to deal with that menace. Most factions don't have a way to deal with Eltharion. We gotta get Eltharion and Grom. Yeah, I should message them to change their banners. Dangler loves that kind of squig skin banner though. That little yellow one with the red border. Hope a Honker's going vanilla. Boring. Don't cheer for them, chat. They don't deserve it. It should be cool. Man. Eltharion and Grom. Yeah, we did have metas, right? Where there was both Eltharion and Grom. Eltharion didn't see play for a really long time because they nerfed his arrow barrage. Everyone was talking about how it was too OP. But then they just brought it back and it's fine. We're chilling. Many years later, though. Many years later. It's cool to see Eltharion in the meta, though. Like, honestly, right now, High Elves, their lords are pretty well balanced. Between vanilla lords, Alarielle, Eltharion. Some people even run Tyrion, even though I don't think he's optimal. Greenskins, on the other hand, they got Arachnarok Spider Caster Lords. There used to be a meta where people would spam Vindictive Glare. They used to spam Vindictive Glare all over these guys because it did so much damage to eagles. Not because eagles were popular, but eagle mounts were. So you'd basically just snipe out like Alarielle and the like. Nowadays, it's not nearly as popular. I think it might have even gone nerfed back then. Flinger spiders never see play. They never ever see play. I think they're just too expensive. And their flinging is pretty bad. The damage output is essentially nothing. Right now, we're in a bit of a cav meta. Most people are going... They're skewing harder towards cavalry. Previously, like about a year ago, we were in an infantry meta. Where everyone would just spam infantry. One day, we'll get a good balance. Although it's not full cavalry. We still see infantry. But they have to be supported by cavalry to work. That's just the world we find ourselves in. Spiders only with greenskins? Sounds impossible. I'd still like to play more Cathay, but... yeah, I don't know. Need a bit to stress test them. Looks like the players are ready. And we do see Oceanids. Oh my gosh, it's a double miscaster. Black Orcs again? Okay, alright. This is interesting. So, archers counter Oceanids, but summons counter archers. Black Orcs, they don't have ludicrous melee defense. I think Oceanids will still hurt them quite a bit. Oceanids are kind of interesting. They're actually one of the best melee units in the game. Maybe even better than deckhands. But the problem is, like deckhands, they suffer from shooting massively. Dying to see this plane. Effectively, what I think Hobohonk is going to want to do is just summon Oceanids on these archers, kill them all, and then his main army Oceanids are going to clean up the rest. We even got a big one. The Sea Elemental. 70 melee defense. Crazy. Essentially, nothing can hit it. And it has a melee attack of 65 versus infantry. There's a horse in there. Found it along the way. Heading to the battlefield. Truly a menace. Then we got the mini Oceanids over here. Look at them. They also have pretty high melee attack versus infantry. Not as crazy though. Looking at about 38 melee attack. So if the Black Orcs do switch to their bulwark mode, they actually won't take a lot of damage from them. But they'll also never hit them either. It'll just be an infinite grind. But they want to buy time for archers. And I think that's basically what the game will come down to. Now this guy's perfect for archer defense. Once again, whoop. We see the big boss with his little dwarf beard on his back. He's got the fermented fungi, and he's basically a 75-meter bubble. That's going to help keep those guys away. But if they do have stealth, that's a problem. They are on foot. Oh, it's a double Nullstone caster. Wait a second. I thought these guys were going to be flying. So we have two Mistress of the Deeps casters. This guy has Ladriel's Shroud, which makes some, which is a vigor replenishment. But the Nullstone. So this silences units and stops magic attacks, which is nice for the Oceanids who have a lot of physical resist. Not an insane amount though, just 30%. But that could potentially get some work done. I don't think it's a very strong strategy, but fun fact, some people have actually banned double Nullstone in some tournaments. So this is actually a really good time for Hobohonkers to show us why it is banned. Also, yeah, deckhands are not the best infantry on their own. It's pound for pound for the amount of gold you're spending. 750 gold for 33,000 HP and 15 capture weight is an insane deal. You can't really beat that outside of maybe zombies. It's kind of funny. It's cheaper the units get, the better for undead anyways. But okay, double Nullstone versus Greenskins. Very interesting. Are we going to see magic? No magic. The Dangler countering the Nullstones by having no caster. Insane. This only has 3 uses, but it lasts quite a long time. And it has a long cooldown, so the 3 uses doesn't hold it back much. Are we going to see some Fanatics here? Is this a tournament? It is. It is a tournament, yes. Our tournaments start about 1 hour, 40 minutes earlier than current time. Oh, look at this guy. Oh, there it is. Fanatics away. He nets him. Kind of botches the Fanatic volley, but okay, that's still going to get a good amount of damage in. Cleaving straight through those guys, and about a quarter to a third HP. That's pretty decent, but the main fight's underway. Oceanids trying to force path their way through the Orc boys. Immovable Bulwark is active. 66 melee defense. They're not going to get hit by the White Lions in the slightest. And we'll see how this goes down. Right now, the double Mistmage are slightly out of position. Timing of attacks is super important. If you mistime your attack and the archers are able to get tons of volleys off, it's brutal. See, one Oceanid already down to half HP. Nullstone was active, but nothing here does magic damage. I don't know what the point of that was. I guess it stops this guy's abilities. Greenskins do not have any abilities going on, but I guess he was worried about maybe like a river troll hag in the forest or something. It's kind of funny. I still don't know why this item is banned, taking 2 of it. But so be it. Black Orcs are still holding very well, by the way. Immovable Bulwark is insane. These, even the Oceanids are barely doing anything. Look at that. Like, no hits whatsoever. And the Sea Elemental has been brutalized. A massive charge from the Orc Boy Big Guns is doing well. And the Withering Mist has been cast. Now that's cool, but these units are already dead. Lowered melee defense on these Boar Boys is not going to do much. And the Dangler's getting value. The Black Orc's still holding. The Wog is on, boosting that melee attack value back up. But they will fall eventually. These ones, though, indestructible. 66 melee defense. So basically put Oceanids here against the High Elves. The White Lions are just attacking and attacking, but nothing's working. Nullstone is active again, which does affect the other Mist Mages, mind you. It's going to make it harder for them to get their summons off, but I presume Hobo Honkers is spending his magic effectively. There's a Sea Helm here, by the way, too. Increasing melee defense, but High Elves don't need that. They need to jump these archers, and it's just not getting done. One is still alive here, 2, 3, only one of them is a little bit raggedy looking. But there's just nothing on top of them. There's no cavalry. The pump wagons have arrived. High Elves are getting hammer and anvil. I guess the Sea Elemental did rout this one off, but there's no healing for it. This thing's just beat up and bleeding. Black Orcs just proving how awesome they are. And I think the Meaty Dangler just needs to not throw. They need to make sure they don't take any vicious losses anywhere, and this game is as good as over. There's essentially nothing left here in the push for the High Elves, and these archers are still at very high ammunition. They just have to be protected. Over here we have a bit of a mosh pit. Night Goblin Warboss is chilling. There's a little bit of a surround. Okay, if the High Elves mop this up and kill the Lord, that would be devastating. And I think that's the only way they can really pull it back. But countercharge on the War Lions is going to help out. The Lord's providing leadership, so that Terror Route bomb is not going to work out too well. The Goblins got Spite of the Bad Moon. Will they rout, though? Nothing here causes terror, so they're holding. 9 leadership. All it takes is 1 route, and maybe we see a chain route. Orc Boys could rout off too, but that anti-large is destroying Ragara's Pride. And the cavalry has arrived. Storm Riders are trying to get line of sight, but they are failing, and now they're in melee. And I think Hobo Honkers is going to get knocked out here. The archers are cooking too hard. The front line of the High Elves has collapsed. And even this pocket ain't going too well. This Lord's just chilling. Night Goblin Warboss, not a fear in the world. Not a speck of fear. He's just chilling here. There's no threat. Sea Elemental's coming in to try and salvage the situation. Wonderful net, by the way. Reducing that melee attack so that the Orc Boys can just cleave through these guys without taking damage. And the Goblins still live. Nullstone is active again. I still don't know why this is banned. Why can't people take 2 Nullstones? I don't know. The impact has been very low. Maybe against some spell spam builds. Maybe Tzeentch. Maybe the Tzeentch players are crying. I don't know. This is just one example. I'm sure there's some situations, but it is hilariously bad right now. I don't know what it's doing. I guess he is going to be able to kill the Night Goblin Warboss, though. Potential comeback. This is still such a devastating loss, though. I don't know if there's... Like, even if this guy dies, he just gets resummoned with more Fanatic volleys. Orcs are always a win. Black Orcs are always a win. They're definitely a fan favorite. I will say the Sea Elemental. He's chilling. He's still alive, I guess. But the pump wagons have arrived. Big charge. Not the craziest amount of damage. Oh, they're quite tired. And a Mighty Roar has dropped. Are these guys getting leadership from their Lord still routing? No. So there's like a non-zero chance the High Elves can hold for a second. You can see the big push here from the Greenskins. They're trying to consolidate their forces. If you play tight and consolidated, you're not gonna get picked apart. What I forget the term, but defeat in detailed. Yeah, you're not gonna have that happen to you. A lot of wear units over here. The Greenskins are very good at rallying and coming back. Look at that leadership. Just a little bit of damage sustained. But the second wave is going to come on in. Ragara's Pride has done well in the grind, but they're going to fall eventually. And the sea elemental, the centerpiece of the high elves, is now demonically crumbling. Oh, rallies. 500 HP. It could stick around. The thing does have a lot of leadership. Oh, only 70. Never mind. That's Felix leadership. I guess it will live, but... Okay, I guess there's a caster here. -9. Oh, and he gets the spell? Please don't tell me he's gonna eat an entire spell and then die. He's running here to the leadership bubble of this Mist Mage. -1 leadership. Disastrous. It's not enough. He needs his flank secured. Mist Mage, come on, baby, hold. Hold, you got this. 1 leadership. Is it gonna rally? Holy smokeroos, it rallies. Is that gonna save the game though? Nope. Mist Mage got too far and he's gone. Absolute brutality. The elemental is down and the greenskins prevail, sending in their forces to mop stuff up. Yeah, if the archers were disrupted a little better, but the Mist Mage is showing up late and not getting their summons off on them, kind of doomed. Kind of doomed them. And that's gonna be it. The Dangler wins. That entire game was about the archers. Like, both armies didn't have a lot of maneuverability. It's just how the fight was taken. But there was just a slight delay. And if we look at the value on these archers, indeed, mega value. This one got shut down. These guys paid for themselves twice over. You can't have that happen. This one paid for themselves in entirety and didn't take damage. And that means that the elemental suffered. Just as predicted. Double Mist Mage. Not doing very much. Very unfortunate. Black Orcs holding. They did their job and got pretty good value too. And that's going to send the Meaty Dangler into the finals. Pump Wagon play also very nice. Love to see some sick Pump Wagon micro. Let's see if they can win it. They only need 1 more and they qualify for the second. They only need 1 more and then they qualify for the second grand finals. Very exciting. They're going to be playing against Berserk too at some point. Water Snake became a puddle. Yo, that thing, that leadership roller coaster was crazy. Honestly, I feel like Burning Head would have just been better. Like, if the High Elves knew what the greenskins were gonna bring, I think Burning Head would have just been better to clear off some archers. They don't have artillery for the leadership bombs, though. And 1 Burning Head's not gonna get the job done, but, like, maybe a cav charge in the back. Pump Wagons are so funny. It's kind of a weird unit, but that's greenskins for you. Can't wait for the crazy stuff in 40k. Orcs are plants and grass beats water. So close though. Mushrooms are technically not plants. The crazy thing is that I believe they're technically vegetables in terms of culinary. But shrooms are closer to humans than they are plants, right? That's actually the crazy thing. Here's the thing though, everything needs water. Technically everything should counter sea elementals, right? Is anything that water beats? In Pokemon, does it beat rock? Because, like, I'm just saying, rocks beat water, man. Yeah, erosion. All right, give them hundreds of years and they'll win. But no, rock's gonna beat water. Fire, I guess fire. I guess water is really good at taking out a lot of heat. It's very efficient when it comes to heat, so I guess water counters fire. You can't make a good argument fire winning there. Yeah, mushrooms are crazy, man. It's a whole different group of life, I guess. Mushrooms are like the viruses of the large scale. Viruses also a weird thing to classify. Mushrooms are everything else. Water bears don't need water. Like, it depends. Are you truly living if you're just a ton? If you're just a little shriveled up little speck doing nothing? Honestly, tardigrade tankiness is like way overstated, man. Turns out tardigrades die if you just debate them a bit. Just hydrate them and then kill them, right? Yeah, I guess if you become a mummy and you can unmummify yourself. You know what it's like? It's like Crystal Sanctuary. Garbage spell, by the way. Crystal Sanctuary, no respect for that. And that's basically what they're doing. You can't move. Technically, you're alive. Oh, man. I still can't believe CA actually buffed it, though. It's too bad they just stopped updating multiplayer after that. A little unfortunate. Conspiracy theory, mushrooms are aliens. Bigger conspiracy theory, everything is aliens. We all came on an asteroid. Honestly, it's too pop culture now, though, right? It's way too popular. We need a fancier theory. Want to see max cav vampire accounts? I have to tell my players. You can message them too. They're all on the Discord. The old ones created us. You're the old ones. Why'd they make mushrooms? The real world is just the Warhammer universe, but the old ones were kind of janky. Instead of making greenskins, they just made mushrooms. You know, they created mushrooms and they're like, I don't think this is going to stop chaos, guys. This is a little rough. Although, what if they did stop chaos? We did see mushrooms defeat Archaon earlier today, and there was not another chaos game. What if there was a chaos invasion brewing in our history? But Archaon was like, ooh, these mushrooms look pretty good. He ate one, instant death. I will say, some mushrooms have some insane levels of poison. Like, unnecessary levels of neurotoxins in them. So, who knows? Like in Warhammer, they just rampage you, right? Straight up. Our universe, like, Archaon would actually die. He's just a man. No chaos gonna protect them against that. The Earth's just a big wet asteroid if you think about it. Are all rocky planets asteroids? I will say the classification between planet and moon, planet and moon is sketchy indeed. They're like, yeah, planets, they gotta clear their orbit. Except for the moons that are orbiting them. And like, these dwarf planets that don't clear their orbit. And it's like, what do you mean by clear orbit? What about the planets that aren't orbiting? It's all arbitrary. That's a great thing, though. Everything's arbitrary. That's why we gotta cut CA slack when they try to label their units. You know, hybrid infantry, duelist. Oh my gosh. I think the most useless tag in this game is a duelist tag. That's probably the most often misinterpreted one. What else do we got? Everything's a soup. Yeah, we already know about that. Cereal's a soup. But yeah, what other tags? I think some cavalry, like on the Bretonnian roster, I think Knights Errant have the anti-infantry classification, even though they don't have bonus versus infantry. And then the Knights of the Realm have anti-large, and they do have anti-large, but they're also good versus infantry. I think there's some other tags. So there has to be a tag worse than duelist, though. defensive tag on infantry with 15 armor. Wait, I don't think I've seen the defensive tag. What unit has the defensive tag? Ocean is soup. Oh, I've heard that one before. Aquatic, clearly worse tag. At least it describes what it does. At least it's something that actually points towards something that is useful. Archaon dying of food poisoning, still better than the end times. Remember, end times never happened. I heard the synopsis of it. It's so bad. It's so bad, man. What do you mean Manfred screwed everyone over? Backstabbing. Why is he working with... I don't even know, man. The Chaos Dwarves got off-screened. Just... bleh. It was so bad. CA's marketing for the End Times DLC is, you get to write how the End Times happened. We can all pretend it didn't exist. Play it out the way it was supposed to. That's what I should do. When the End Times DLC comes out, I just play a campaign, but I make all the steps of the campaign line up exactly with the books. People would love it. Oh, Von Karstein's ready. This is a bad matchup for Greenskins, by the way. About the tournament that's going on. Greenskins do not like this very much. Though, they're going for River Trolls to reduce the melee attack of the undead. They have pretty low melee attack. The difference, like, you know, if you think about it, a unit with 30% chance to hit, minus 10, they lose 33% of their damage. A unit with 10 or with 20% damage going to, or 20% chance to hit going to 10, that's a 50% reduction. If you go from 10% chance hit to 0, that's a 100% chance, 100% damage reduction. Unfortunately, you can't get it to absolute 0, but hitting the minimum chance to hit is nice for the Greenskins. Have you heard anything about Lords of the End Times since the trailer? Nah. I think usually what CA does is like a month before they want to launch it, they'll put out some promotional stuff and then it'll get launched. So until we start seeing promotional stuff, it's probably longer than a month away. When did they say though? Summer? Gotta be soon. Is that Grom the Paunch? It is. Lucky Banner to make sure he doesn't die. Very important. River Trolls are weird, but it makes sense when you consider the 6 melee attack reduction. So look at this. Zombies have 5 melee attack. 40% chance to hit minus the melee defense. They go down to 15% chance. 15% chance to hit against Orc Boys is pretty nice. But when you give it minus 6, that's pretty bad for the zombies. Suddenly they go down to 9% chance. That's almost like a that's like a 35% damage reduction aura. If you looked at these River Trolls and said that they would give 35% ward save to the Orc Boys, you would say that's insane. Crypt Ghouls, however, much more melee attack, but they have lower HP. They're not the best grinding fighters in the game, but they're pretty nice versus Greenskins because they don't have a lot of armor. Double Banshee is getting popular lately. I still think Double White King is better, but Double Banshee is pretty cool. They got the Screaming Banner, -4 leadership, very fun. And it's gonna be a Necrarch Vampire Lord with Spirit Leech. All right, Dark Protection, okay. Kind of a weird pick. You don't see this guy often, but Spirit Leech is just nice versus Greenskins. Raised Dead is good versus Archers. Interesting, and he has Life Leeching and Curse of Undeath, so he's a spell spammer. Also, cool banner, look at that. Fun stuff. All right, we got ourselves a little bit of a tussle going on. Crypt Ghouls going for the early capture weight. Grom the Paunch blitzing across the battlefield at maximum speed. a little slower than I thought it would be. I think there's just a teensy tiny bit of lag. Just look at what are those dogs doing? That is not a run animation. They're just trotting. Look at them go. Come on, dogs. I guess Grom's pretty heavy. Those dogs don't look like they're having a good time. Oh, here we go. Big charge. No, he's gonna bail out. Oh, he charges the dogs instead. Oh, it's a massacre. Oh. You'd think the dogs could just eat these dogs at the front. But apparently they also have the same HP as Grom. Nothing makes sense about this game. Don't think about it too much. Grom, though, getting a little bit of damage on those doggos. Dire Pack. Pretty beat up, and Grom regenerates. Overall, that's a win. River Trolls have come in. But the question is, outside of this tiny skirmishing, do the Greenskins win a straight-up fight against Vampire Counts? Because this is a very straight-up arm. No Vargeist, no big single entities, not even a Mortis engine. How will they do? Spirit Leech is cast on Grom. Doesn't use the Lucky Banner, though. I feel like he could have, but the cooldown's 2 minutes. He's gonna regen anyways, so I guess it's fine. Let's take a look at this, though. Melee attack of the Skeleton Spearman, debuffed by the overwhelming odor. You'd think units without noses would be resistant, but no, it is that bad of a smell. And indeed, their melee attack is now 8. So they barely hit anything. These zombies, 0 melee attack. That is why the Dangler recommends River Trolls in this matchup. Makes a lot of sense, pretty hype. And they're gonna go for the grind. Overall damage taken, nothing. Look at that, what a tech piece. All right. This is what I love about watching faction mains. They have all these crazy shenanigans to win matchups that you don't usually see in typical meta play. The archers are having a great time just shelling the area. Crypt Horrors also melee attack reduced. And just look at the damage. These Orc boys are barely taking anything. Yeah, their leadership's being reduced, but it doesn't matter if you're winning. Okay, yeah, you have a Banshee screaming in your ear, whatever. I'm crumping some gits. Look at that. Orc boys having the time of their lives. Grom is in here too. He's helping out. Given his buffs. One River Troll, though, on the verge of routing, but the Wog is here. River Troll stabilize. Orc boys stabilize. That's basically the best timed Wog you could imagine. And the fight is going well, though not perfectly. Technically, value trading is still a little sketchy, but you gotta remember Greenskins do heal with their trolls. He's using the Broken Tusk mob to keep the leadership up too. And these River Trolls will be back. They only lost 2 entities, so they can heal all the way back to basically max HP. Some Savage Orcs have arrived too to help clear out the zombies. And let's take a look at the value of these Crypt Ghouls. Pretty bad. Only 115. They cost 600. They would want to get at least 300 gold, but they're already dead. Unholy Lodestones are doing well, though. Just one. Keeping up the healing over here. This one's just keeping up the vigor. But that's not a perfect situation. Arrow boys are shooting, and this is just a big old melee fight. Usually in games like this, it's more a test of the player's builds more than their micro. The micro will have some, you know, some effects. Obviously being able to rout off trolls and the like, that is still making a lot of big plays. But the vast majority of the trading is just how this grind plays out. And right now we're starting to see some routes. Grom did pull away from this location. The River Trolls are still getting in some glorious work, though. Value's still a little low on those ones. But let's take a look here. Pump wagons have arrived, and another Wog is here. These big melee builds can Wog pretty often, but oh no, disaster strikes. And one River Troll routes in the wrong direction. Nakrark will be chasing them down for sure. A pretty big loss for the Dangler, actually. If he can't save this, this is pretty bad. Very unfortunate, actually, that they decided to route in this direction instead of through their own units. And that could be a losing play. Though Necrarch disengages. He feels like he needs to support this squad. But if they rally, the amount of value they'll get back is insane. That's like 1,000 gold worth of value. But I guess he feels like there's something more important. Maybe he wants to snipe Grom. Grom is certainly getting pretty low. We're seeing a lot of crumbling all around, though. And these units are just not taking damage. Greenskin frontline still very healthy. Vampire counts, lots of crumbling. Corpse card's getting pretty low too. Once that goes down, Vigor is going to be a problem. And Broken Tusk Mob are out on the hunt. They were playing very defensively earlier, but now they're feeling a lot more confident. Value's looking pretty good. Fairly even for both sides, but the archers are just laying into these Crypt Horrors. And I think Meaty Dangler is getting a slight edge. They're down on tickets though. So if they don't win this fight, it's just game over. Vampire counts, if they can just lose slowly enough, they do win. There's not a lot that can stop the Banshees too. So maybe Vampire counts can still pull through. This is rough though. We got some fast capture weight coming in. Never mind, slow capture weight. The Black Orcs with the hockey pucks, hockey sticks. Marching on in. Do we have more Black Orcs? I think that's our first Black Orc unit. Very exciting. Let's hope they don't die to Karen rates or something. Pump wagons are routed. And that's pretty rough. Though they're holding. I guess they got terrored recently. Now they're full routing. But here's the thing. At the end of the day, these archers were able to mag dump into this. That's typically a sign that the archer player is happy. Like Ruglud's got to use all of their ammunition and lost literally no entities. It could not be better than this. 1,300 gold worth of value and a catch on some of the Crypt Horrors here, including maybe some Karen rates. I'd be pretty worried. I'd be pretty worried if I was a Vampire counts, though they are making a play over here, sending in the Crypt Ghoul March to capture this point. They know, okay, maybe the value trading's slowly going badly for me, but I have 750 tickets. At some point, if I can hold a double cap for a little longer, I only need to hold one more point to win this. Though, 750 tickets is not that much. It's not a whole ton. Still, though, we did see earlier Bretonia lose on the ticket race. It can absolutely still happen here, but I'm a little sussed out. One pump wagon is all the greenskins need to clear off these ghouls too. In fact, the trolls and the Broken Tusk Mob getting a lot of damage. Here come the pump wagons also. Meaty Dangler, I've played counts against him before. He really likes using the pump wagons to clear off these ghouls. It's a very nice way to punish the counts. But maybe there's a play here. Grom the Paunch taking a bit of damage. Gets Spirit Leech. He's getting low, but he still has a lot of heal cap to go. I wouldn't be too worried about him dying unless it's a massive misplay. And the grind continues. These river trolls are just cooking. The amount of damage reduction they're putting on these guys is crazy. Even the Karen rates only have 25 melee attack, which is pretty disappointing. But the Vampire counts have shoved back the greenskins here. They have summoned some Hex rates too, which is a very, very elite unit. But will that be enough? With the Ponchinator coming in and a big surround of infantry, Hex rates do not like staying in the fight. Their stats are actually very low. Just compare it to your average Orc boy and it's not that much higher. And there's the surround. Grom the Paunch embedding himself into him. A little risky if he does get sniped, but the Hex rates are trying to escape instead. Spears have arrived and the crumbling is very big here. I think this is getting into big danger territory for the Vampire counts, but technically they do win on 1 point. The problem, they're gonna need to hold that point for like a good few minutes. In fact, if the greenskins capture this in time, I don't even think the Vampire counts win on 1 point. I think they barely lose on 1 point right now. And not only that, they're losing that 1 point in the middle. The greenskins going for the mega grind. Big Buna on the Hex rates too. I think the Dangler's gonna do it. The best thing about watching faction mains is watching them win in bad matchups. This matchup, some people are saying it's swinging over to the greenskins. But generally speaking, your average greenskin player is going to struggle more against Vampire counts than other factions. But he's done it. The grindiest game that's ever been. The greenskins have outground the Vampire counts. It turns out if you are fighty enough, you will be able to make it. River Trolls are back. Goodbye, Black Knight Lancers with Barding. 23 melee attack is a joke. They just can't hit anything. I think Vampire counts really needed like a Vargeist or something to like cycle charge maybe more cavalry early on to break off these trolls and to chase them off. But just not being able to do that was the downfall. They did have banshees, but it's only -4 leadership and terror. Rear charges are -13. Rear charges alone are -13. That can have a much bigger impact, but Meaty Dangler did a good job protecting things, especially using the Broken Tusk mob. Now it's triple cap. Vampire Counts need to secure 2 points to win the game now. They're gonna make a mad dash for this one, but there's just too many boys. Too many greenskins everywhere. And I think this is gonna be GG's. I think it's basically guaranteed GG's. There's very few areas to come back when you go for an infantry build. This is why I generally don't like infantry builds very much, but if you know what you're doing, if you're better at army building, it'll win it for you. No way. Yes way, man. Greenskins, they got tea. They got the fight in here. I do think maybe like a Dragon Lord could have done well here. Obviously it's risky versus some playstyles, but like a breath attack and a charge can rout off some river trolls if done correctly. It's tricky though. It's tricky. Like this build is you know, any build you bring to try and counter this can lose to other greenskin playstyles. You gotta remember, your opponent can change their build too. Big charge from the Broken Tusk mob. All those Spirit Leeches on Grom the Paunch have yet to pay dividends. He's still alive. He's still at like basically half HP. This is why Grom the Paunch is such a menace. He's just sitting there regenerating constantly. And the Vampire Counts are done for. Necrarch doing his bestest, but he has decent value, nothing crazy. He's gonna chuck out a big old Aspect of the Dread Knight, Dangler that is, to keep these guys from routing. Aspect of the Dread Knight, by the way. We didn't see it earlier, but if there was a dragon cycle charging, this would keep the guys from routing. Just chuck it on your river troll hags. Some very nice counterplay. I think Meaty Dangler's prepared for a lot here. This is actually a very, very scary build. And Von Karstein taps out. Meaty Dangler, the second person to qualify for our second grand finals. That'll be coming up later. Let's see here. Galju won the qualifier on Friday. Actually, don't know if I faced him before, but yeah, they'll be there with the Dangler. Looking at the Banshees, not a lot of value. Vampire Counts bought a terror routing build and was not able to terror route. Their infantry was just not able to get that much leverage on the river trolls because of their debuffs. The archers got ludicrous value. This is like the perfect way to bring archers. Fewer archers, but they get to use all their ammunition. You save money, and you get to watch them farm value like no one's business. Very nice play. I'm interested to see how the Dangler does versus Berserk. Berserk is definitely like one of the top 3-5 players at least, and I imagine if they play Vampire Counts against the Dangler, it could turn out very differently depending on how prepared they are though. Look at that. Yeah, Berserk is shaking his booties. He's just watching the stream. He's like, oh, that's what his build is. I'll just counter it. Unless you got the mix-ups. The mix-ups is where it gets exciting. A Mortis engine? Yeah, a Mortis engine would have gone shot up. You need to kill the archers first before you can bring in the cool stuff. And they'll just always be a menace, especially with a front line like this. That's just gonna stand their ground. Cav Max? Cav Max would have been funny. Vampire Counts don't have the strongest cavalry right now, though. And Ison Raider gifts a tier 1 sub to Meaty Dangler, the winner of today. Congratulations, good sir. Yes, yeah, that's his name. That's his name. Don't worry about it. He's talking about food, like hanging some ham for... Yeah. All right. All right, I think I'm good for today. I need to go get myself some food. Watching a game like that, I need sustenance. Was fun. I think tomorrow we'll be playing ourselves. back to gatekeeping, and I gotta figure out what I want to do. Who do I want to play? A lot of fun factions. Could play Cathay again. I feel like there's still a lot to discover, but there's a whole host of options. I might even play Tomb Kings. They have some cool shenanigans nowadays if I want to try hard. But we'll have to see. Peace out. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And thank you very much to our supporters. Benjo, Calculandia, Obi Chicken, Naldor, John Brothers, Michael Phillip, Miss New Booty, Clint, and Ditto Leaf. Y'alls are amazing. And hopefully, with all this funding, we'll be able to get a new YouTube video out soon. Much exciting.